What if the strange feeling of having been here before wasn't an illusion? What if you were just recalling something you lived in another life? Maybe what we call the past is just the beginning of an eternal cycle where your soul carries stories that your mind can't explain. From the ancient civilizations of India and Egypt to the labs of modern science, the question quietly echoes. Is life an isolated event, or a chapter in an endless journey? Reincarnation, the idea that the soul returns to the physical world in different bodies and eras, transcends cultures, beliefs, and times. But what's even more intriguing is when subtle signs begin to appear in our everyday lives, silent clues that perhaps we've walked these paths before. Today, we'll explore 7 deep signs that might reveal you've lived before, traces hidden in memories, emotions, and even fears that you can't explain. But what if the true mystery was realizing that, deep down, you've always known this? Sign 1: Déjà vu sensations that defy logic. Imagine walking down a quiet street in a city you've never seen before. The sound of your footsteps echoes, but something doesn't feel right. Something feels familiar. You get a chill down your spine, a deep sense that you've been there before, but it doesn't make sense. You've never been in that place. Not in this life. It's a disorienting experience. The soft light of the late afternoon reflects off the store windows, and the scent of freshly brewed coffee reaches your nose, almost like a memory. The creak of an old store door, the distant sound of footsteps on cobblestones, all these little details, even without you noticing, stir up a strange and inexplicable feeling within you. With every step, you feel like you're reliving something, as if your body recognizes a place where your mind has never been. And the worst part, or maybe the best part, is that you can't understand why. Scientists call this déjà vu, the mysterious phenomenon that challenges our understanding of time and memory. The most common explanation is that the brain makes a mistake. The information you're receiving is processed as though it's already been lived, creating the feeling that this moment has already happened. But what if déjà vu is more than just a simple brain error? What if it's a window into something much bigger, something that goes beyond the logic of modern science? Ancient spiritual traditions, such as Hinduism and Buddhism, believe that déjà vu could be a memory of past lives, a recollection trying to surface, but hidden beneath layers of time. These sudden, unexpected flashes of familiarity, which seem to come from a distant and deep place, could be the reflection of a time that's already passed, of a soul that once existed in another body, in another era. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, believed that the soul carries memories not just of our own existence, but also of our ancestors. In his view, human experiences intertwine in a vast repository of memories, transcending individuality. What if what you feel in those moments isn't just a brain glitch, but a deep echo of your soul, from a time and body that once were yours? What if the streets you walk, the people you meet, and even the places that feel so familiar, have already been traversed by you in another life, in a distant age? The question that remains is, what are we really remembering when we feel this déjà vu? Are these memories not from this life, but from others, insisting on finding us, like a whisper from the past that refuses to disappear? Sign 2: Phobias and fears without roots in this life. Close your eyes for a moment. Now, imagine yourself facing something common, something that could be part of your daily life, a height, a storm at sea, the simple act of lighting a candle. But instead of feeling comfortable, a deep and irrational terror starts to take over you, a visceral sensation that makes no sense at all. Why, in a completely ordinary situation, do you feel such fear, as if you were about to be swallowed by something you've never experienced? You've never had a plane crash, never fallen from great heights, never suffered a severe burn. So why does this irrational phobia persist? It seems to come from somewhere far away, perhaps from an unaccessed memory, an unexplained nightmare. As if something inside you, something that doesn't belong to this life, is waking up and screaming for attention. Modern psychology offers explanations, suggesting that these phobias could stem from childhood trauma, experiences that got stuck in the subconscious, waiting to be resolved. However, this view doesn't explain all cases. Often, during past life regression hypnosis sessions, where the patient is taken into a deep relaxation state to access lost memories, the answers are surprising, and even disturbing. Documented cases of people who fear something without logical explanation, like rivers or fires, reveal deeply traumatic stories from other times. For example, one woman had always had a fear of water, especially rivers. In a deep trance, she saw herself drowning in a turbulent river in a 17th century setting, during a time when water was a constant threat. Another case involves a man who feared intense fires. In a regression, he relived a vivid memory of a great fire in a medieval village, where he and his family lost everything. These stories are not isolated. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a renowned psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, dedicated his life to studying children who, in their earliest memories, reported striking details of past lives, with names, places, even historical events they couldn't have known otherwise. In many of these cases, the inexplicable fear of something simple or everyday could actually be a remnant of trauma that doesn't belong to your current life, but has crossed the barrier of time, manifesting in your soul as a reminder of something still unresolved. What if the fear you feel, that inexplicable terror, is actually a memory of something you've already lived? What if that silent anguish that arises in unexpected moments, without apparent reason, is an echo of a fate you've already faced, long ago, in another life, in another skin? But here's the real question. Are these signs just the surface? Could it be that fear isn't just about what's already happened, but about what still needs to be resolved? What's still manifesting in your emotions and more subtle decisions, in those choices you make without understanding why? In the next signs, we'll dive deeper, unearthing the messages from your soul, messages that might be far deeper than you imagine. Sign 3, immediate and inexplicable knowledge or skills. Close your eyes again and think of a moment when you learned something new. But not just learned, you mastered something so fluidly, so naturally, that it felt like you'd known it for a long time. Maybe you sat at a piano for the first time, felt your fingers on the keys, and effortlessly played a melody that seemed to flow from within you. Or perhaps you tried learning a new language and, without knowing how, began pronouncing words as if you had known them for years. This kind of experience can be deeply disconcerting, right? The feeling that something inexplicable is guiding your hands, your mind, as if an ancestral memory is awakening deep within your soul. It's not like learning from scratch. It's like remembering something lost, something that has been with you before, long ago. These immediate skills, which seem to come out of nowhere, are often interpreted by some spiritual traditions as remnants of a distant past, impressions from lives you've already lived. The memory of the soul, according to various spiritual doctrines, isn't limited to just images and feelings but also contains knowledge acquired in other existences, skills, wisdom, talents that transcend time and are revived when you need them the most. Perhaps, in a past life, you were a virtuoso musician, able to create melodies that touched the soul of everyone around you. Or maybe, you were a linguistic master, fluent in a forgotten language, speaking words that now seem to stir your spirit. Today, when you face a new opportunity, these memories seem to surface like a timeless recollection, awakening abilities that, at first glance, seem impossible to achieve in a single life. Plato, the Greek philosopher who believed in the theory of forms and the immortal soul, suggested that knowledge isn't something acquired, but something remembered, a wisdom that is already within us, waiting to be recalled, revealed. He believed that the soul, before entering a new body, already possessed universal knowledge. And throughout life, what we call learning is nothing more than the process of remembering what we already know, in a deep and eternal way. So, could it be that these surprising abilities you have, those that emerge with a supernatural ease, are, in fact, fragments of wisdom that time couldn't erase? Are they memories of a soul that has lived and learned before, and now, somehow, is trying to reconnect with what it knows, even if it doesn't know how? What if, when you learn something new, you're not just acquiring a skill, but reliving something that was once second nature to you in a past life? Sign 4. Immediate connections with unknown people. Has this ever happened to you? You meet someone for the first time, and suddenly, you feel an instant connection, as if you've already shared lives, laughter, and even pain with this person. It's something beyond simple friendship or attraction. It's deeper, almost inexplicable, as if your souls recognize each other and embrace silently, in an understanding that transcends words. No matter how little time has passed, what matters is the feeling that you already know this person from somewhere, as if they were part of something larger, something that was built over time, souls that have reunited. This phenomenon, often called soul connection, is a fundamental concept in many spiritual philosophies. Many beliefs, including the idea of soulmates, suggest that our souls reunite across different existences, crossing paths with those who have been by our side in previous incarnations. The idea is that, somehow, souls aren't limited to just one life. They travel through time, seeking, connecting, and intertwining with those who resonate with them. And that's exactly what you feel when you meet one of these people. The chemistry between you seems to transcend time. It doesn't matter how strange you are to each other in terms of life experiences and memory. There's a familiarity, a sense that you've been together before, maybe even in another era, in another life. The question is, could these encounters be more than just coincidence? Could there be something deeper behind these instant connections, something that transcends the limitations of reason and logic? What if, instead of just being a mere coincidence, these meetings are the reunion of souls, souls that, in a past life, shared intense journeys, loves, losses, and laughter so profound that not even time could erase them? You may wonder, how can this be? How can we recognize someone as if our souls had connected with this person in another time? It's a profound question, and perhaps the answer lies in the very nature of the soul. Maybe time isn't a straight line, as we imagine it. Perhaps, on some level, our being remembers the connections it made before, and when meeting those souls again, it recalls something that was once lived. The true question is, are these reunions a coincidence, or are they a chance the universe gives us to revisit something that was never truly lost? Signal 5. Feeling of discomfort or strangeness in certain places or cultures. Has it ever happened to you? You travel to a distant place, perhaps an ancient city or a landscape you've never seen before, but as you walk through its streets or simply look around, you feel an inexplicable discomfort. Something inside you seems to stir, as if, at the same time, that place feels familiar and completely strange. A sense of oddness, as if you're in a place you somehow already know, but can't quite remember why or how. It's that feeling, almost like déjà vu, but more intense, more profound. Something that goes beyond mere discomfort, as if you are being called back to a place you've already been, but without remembering exactly when or why. This phenomenon, although unsettling, is deeply connected to an ancient idea: the soul is not bound by time or space. Many people, when recounting their past life experiences, speak of reliving memories of places they lived in previous incarnations. Ancient cities, forgotten villages, lands that no longer exist, but that are somehow deeply engraved in their hearts and minds. Perhaps your discomfort in a strange place is, in fact, your soul trying to remember, a remnant of an existence that transcends physical time. You find yourself in a location where perhaps you lived many lives ago, a place that, in reality, has never ceased to exist for your soul, even if your current mind can't fully access that memory. What if, when we visit certain places, our souls recognize them, as if we were returning home? What if this discomfort, this feeling of strangeness, is, in fact, an emotional reminder, a sign that we've been there before. A reminder that, although our current body and mind can't fully comprehend, a part of us remembers. And what if, as we walk through those lands, as we travel those streets and feel those landscapes, we are, in fact, returning to a home lost long ago? As we explore these signs, something begins to emerge clearly, a pattern suggesting that we are all connected by something much greater than time and flesh. These fragments of memory that arise, so subtle and silent, like echoes from the past, are more than mere coincidences. They are the marks of our traveling souls, crossing the barriers of time and space, and perhaps trying to awaken us to a much greater and deeper truth than we realize. But what else could lie beyond these signs? How can we understand and unravel this mystery of our deepest existence? What is our soul trying to tell us? And could it be that, by looking inward, at these moments of strangeness, we can begin to remember something far vaster, something that goes beyond time, beyond lives, and beyond death? Signal 6, a feeling that time is disconnected. Has it ever happened to you to be immersed in a moment of total presence, maybe while listening to music, contemplating a landscape, or being completely absorbed in a conversation, and suddenly have the sense that time is not aligning with your perception? As if, for an instant, you were living in a parallel timeline, where the past, present, and future merge into a single, timeless experience, where the boundaries between the different phases of your life seem to disappear. It's as if, somehow, you had the perception that time is not linear but fluid, pulsating across multiple dimensions simultaneously. Moments from the past intertwine with the present, and the future flashes suddenly, all in a single instant. These moments of temporal dissociation, this disconnection with the linearity of time, have been described by those who believe in reincarnation, or in the idea that our lives do not follow a straight line of cause and effect. For these individuals, such an experience is more than just a mental slip, it's a reminder of something deeper, a manifestation of multiple lives coexisting within a single soul, all interlinked and affecting one another, as if, in some way, you are all of your past selves. Imagine this: what if your soul were experiencing not just the life you know now, but several other existences simultaneously, in different moments of history and the future? The theory of simultaneous lives, defended by some spiritual thinkers, suggests that, on a deep and unconscious level, the soul does not follow a straight timeline but a network of parallel experiences. Modern physics also offers a surprisingly aligned view with this idea. Renowned scientist David Bohm, a prominent theoretical physicist, argued that our perception of time as something linear is an illusion. For Bohm, the universe operates in a way he called implicate order, the notion that the past and future are not separate entities, but coexist on a deeper plane, where time becomes a construct of the human mind, a projection, an artifact of our limited perception. According to this theory, all events in the universe are, in some way, simultaneously present, hidden from view. Time, then, would not be something that flows constantly, but a complex web of interconnected possibilities, where all realities, past, present, and future, exist in some form at the same time. What, if not a profound experience of simultaneous lives, could create this sense that time is disconnected? So, the question that remains is: could these moments of temporal confusion, when you feel out of time, actually be a window into something much larger? A perception that time, as we know it, is a construct of our mind, and that, in some past or future lives, you have already experienced all of this simultaneously. And if these temporal experiences are not illusions, but glimpses into the hidden layers of the universe, where time, as we understand it, has no boundaries? Could it be that the soul is not limited to the present, and that everything we experience, on a deeper level, has already happened or will happen, all at once? Signal 7, an intense desire to go back home. There are moments when, without explanation, you look up at the sky, at the vastness of the cosmos, at the distant stars, and feel an inexplicable longing, as if something inside you is crying out for a return. Not a desire to go back to a specific physical place, but to something much deeper, something that transcends any material concept. It's the feeling that your soul belongs somewhere else, far away, beyond this world, and that, on some level, you have lived there before. This desire to go back home is one of the deepest and most complex experiences the soul can have, and it is perhaps the most intriguing sign that we are connected to something far greater than just our earthly existences. It's as if you were a visitor here, and, no matter how much you have adapted to daily life, something within you never fully fits. As if, somewhere deep within your being, you know you don't truly belong to this world. The feeling that spiritual home, an intangible, but unmistakable place, is somewhere beyond your immediate reach. A home where your essence may have originated, and from where, one day, you will return. This longing to return, this transcendental homesickness, is frequently reported by those who have deep spiritual experiences or have engaged in practices like meditation or regression. They speak of a profound state of connection with something higher, something that goes beyond the current life, something that cannot be touched or defined, but is incredibly familiar. They feel as if, for an instant, their soul remembers the place from which it came, and that place is not a geographical point, but a spiritual dimension that transcends any physical boundary. In the tradition of spiritualism, this urge to return to origin is seen as the soul's natural quest for unity with the divine. A search for reconciliation with the universal whole, after the temporary experience of materiality. The soul, after incarnating in various bodies, experiencing different lives and challenges, feels this longing, this desire to return to its primordial state. And, curiously, this desire is eternal. Perhaps it has accompanied your soul through many lives, and now manifests as a reminder of your true spiritual origin. The big question that arises, then, is: have you, throughout all your incarnations, ever felt this longing before? Has your soul, at some point in the past, also experienced this sense of longing for what is eternal and divine? And if, in fact, this feeling of not belonging is an echo of all the past lives in which you felt that the material world was not your true home? It is believed that this feeling is a soul awakening, a reminder that, although our human consciousness may focus on our earthly experiences, something within us knows that our journey goes far beyond the flesh and time. And, at the end of all our lives, when the soul finally finds its way back to its divine center, to its spiritual home, will this longing cease, or will it transform into something deeper, return to something we were always destined to reunite with?